Hello, this is Greg Allison coming to you on the evening of 15 September 2020. And I'm coming to you underneath what we call a persimmon tree. This is Diospyros virginiana. That is our American wild persimmon. And most of what you see here is very, very green. But some of these are getting ripe a little early. Now what I've got to tell you is a disclaimer. If you don't know exactly what a plant is, don't eat of it or from it, because in Mother Nature there's a lot of good things that are really good for you, that can help you, be medicinal, good for you and taste good, but there's some things that will make you sick and some that can kill you. I want you to look at these leaves. The leaves on this plant are very broad. It is late summer here. We're a week away from autumn. So these leaves are starting to spot and pit. They've been ate on. They're pretty old. Now this is between my log barn here and my walk-in cooler, which I've got to finish. And you see some little worm insects are making nets up in there. Want to eat my plant. I need to put some BT on it, right? Bacteria thuringiensis, that would get rid of them. They attack fruit trees. Those kind of pest things, so you get some worms up there. But that's one way to treat that if you run into that problem. Now let me tell you all about this tree and the fruit. You don't want to eat these green fruit. These green fruit have tannins in them that will make your mouth pucker considerably. Now if you just want to use that to kiss someone, that might be good to give you some pucker power, but I wouldn't swallow it, because those tannins, in addition to being bitter, have certain properties that when they combine with your stomach acid, they can form glops of material that will combine with your stomach wall, and they're kind of woody, can cause you some problems. So you don't want to ingest this, but those tannins are an astringent, so there's a medicinal side to it. The astringent properties of these can be used to treat things like insect bites, acne. Astringents can be used for a lot of things. Externally, maybe applied to hemorrhoids, anal hemorrhoids, or athlete's foot, fungal infections. But I wouldn't use it as an internal administered astringent. But best of all is the fruit. There's a ripe one, and this one is a big one for Diospyros virginiana. Now they have a taste kind of like pumpkin when they're ripe. When they're fully ripe, the tannins have basically gone away, and they're very delicious. They're quite sweet. Now the American version has very thin skins. You can see it ruptures on contact with the ground when it hit the ground, and they're ripe when they hit the ground typically. Very thin skin and are very pulpy, very soft. Now the ones that you get from like the Japanese versions tend to be harder and more fibrous. I like these versions better sweet. A lot of times you got a top leaf on it you'll want to take off, but they're very good to eat. This is personally my favorite wild American fruit. I love them. I love the flavor. You can eat them raw as I just did. You can dry them. You can cook them. They have these big seeds. The ancients, a lot of people believe, you can pop these seeds open, and they will have a little growth in, which would be the future plant. And it'll look like some cutter. It'll look like a spoon, a fork, or a knife. Let's see these seeds. Now, what the old timers believe was you could predict the oncoming winter by the nature of what you saw when you cut them open. They cut them several to get the best odds. If they saw a lot of knives, they'd say the winter was going to cut. It was going to be so cold it'd cut you, cut and cold. If they saw a lot of spoons, they thought you'd get a lot of snow. You'd have to shovel snow. And the forks meant you'd have a fairly mild winter. So maybe you want to see forks out, or your kids might want to see snow. And a knife, probably not so popular. So you can kind of use your mouth to get the pulp off the seeds. Use your teeth, work them around. That way you get all the good stuff. There's still a little bit of a slight trace of the astringent tannins in it, but very mild, very little when they're ripe. They're predominantly very sweet. So, I'm going to tell you about the wood of this tree, some of its uses, a couple other things. On my channel, my proposition is to help you survive, thrive, and stay out of the hive. So I cover wild edibles, wild fruits, wild medicinals. A lot of people didn't know there was a medicinal property of a persimmon tree. And I'm going to tell you a couple of other uses that you'll want to have, especially for prepping, one in particular for prepping, that you might find kind of incredible. But you're going to find that interesting. So I also cover things about which you need to keep your eyes wide open and head on a swivel, because a lot's coming at us in this world today. We're living in crazy times, and they're getting crazier by the month, it seems. Things are going ape. It's getting nuts. So there's a lot of stuff you want to know. I cover these things. What's going on in the world? What's going on here? Just help keep you aware so you'll know to prepare, and maybe how to prepare. I also cover gardening. And the gardening I cover is how to grow your own without having to go to the store to buy junk, which is what you need to know. So subscribe to my channel, bang the update notification bell, and click all to get more of my videos. And you can support my channel by clicking the links below. One of them is the True Leaf Market. True Leaf Market, whoop, that wasn't an earthquake. True Leaf Market is the source for great seeds. Heirloom seeds, the kinds you can plant the seed and replant them and get the same plant back again. This is what you need. Like open pollinated. Oh, it's nice and breezy here. Hurricane Sally is on the way. Hurricane Sally, and I got a mosquito bug on me. Wipe it off. Oops. Yeah, mosquitoes are coming at me. I need to use some of my beauty berry out there, don't I? So, what I'm going to tell you is the True Leaf Market is an excellent source for things like, including plants you can grow inside, like microgreens. I got videos below on microgreens. Just roll down on my channel to find those videos. And supplies that you need to grow these things. It's a wonderful source for these things. And my friends, we're just before the eye wall. The storm hits us. You know, we're kind of in the middle of the eye of the storm, I think, right now. I think it's going to go, unless you're in the West Coast, you're in a terrible situation. Hats off and prayers for you people. Guys, it's going around. So be ready. I'm expecting food prices to really go up. The economy has got lots of signs of a big crash coming. So you need to be prepping. Right now you can get 4-week supply of 25-year long-term storage food for $100 off. Can't beat that deal. PrepWithGreg.com. Check that out. 2,000 calories per day. And 3 meals, breakfast, lunch, dinner with drinks and desserts. Now, we'll talk a little about the wood of this tree. Heck, that ain't much wood. Now, there are some big ones. One of the things that people used to use these trees for was making longbows. Now, you'd want something about 1.5 inches, maybe 2 inches in diameter to do a long bow, a really straight shaft. This shaft may be a little too knotty. What you would do is you would take it and trim out one side. You know, trim it down real good, and you know, the other side could be more round. If it's where you'd bend it. That's a little bit big for a long bow, maybe not as straight as you'd want. This tree's going to the edge of the wood, so it's naturally got more curve. Now these trees typically do often grow to the edge of the woods, and sometimes you might find a higher branch that's straight. So that's got a straight section, but that's not long enough. You could use this section right here for a long bow. Yeah, that's the DCX rocket back there. Yes, the remnants of the DCXA rocket. Now, yeah, so you could do, and that's a tent I got over there. Or I used to use for my barn before I built my barn. I still use it some. I gotta rework it some. But these are something else the wood has been used for. This wood is prone to crack when you're working it. So you got to be careful working it and what you use it for. But it's been used for the cues, for billiards, for cue sticks. It's been used for the shuttle and textile manufacturing. Those are two of the main principal uses that this has been used for. So if you need to build a loom, just think about this wood. It apparently makes really good shuttles. Maybe it's the way it carves, you know, how they shape those shuttles. They shoot through the loom when you got the cloth going back and forth. And tablecloth moves, move the other way. If you've ever been around the limb, you know what I'm talking about. So the wood has some usefulness as an astringent. There's some medicinal property to the persimmons themselves, but best of all, look at this tree. It is loaded. This is a wild fruit that bears. Some trees like this one bear early. It's been bearing for a couple weeks now, around the 1st of September. Some of these trees, there's some like this that don't even start bearing until October. So you can usually find these fruit throughout from the zones, I think 4 to 9. They grow pretty widely in North America. And they bear for a couple months. So, and I have heard of people finding these fruits way up in a tree and getting them later. I mean, if they're dried out, if they're naturally dried, they're probably okay to eat. You know, but you know, being sweet as they are, they could spoil. They could get rancid, or alcohol could set up in them. But this tree is loaded. There's a lot of fruit here. The cool thing about this is you need carbs, and wild carbs can be hard to come by. You need fruit throughout the year when you're living in the wild, and this is a great source of it. You know, in the springtime and through the year, there's different things. And I'll show you even black tupelo, or black gum as I call it, also has a fruit to it. It may not be as good, but it can be plentiful too. I don't know if my trees are making fruit this year. They usually do, but I'm not seeing a lot on them as usual. So that's going to be one of my future edible videos. It's black gum when it's ready. And I've got a few others I'll be coming with. So I got a few more I'll do this year. I have stepped up my wild edible videos and number a little bit more than I plan to, just because we don't know what's coming. I want everybody to be as prepared as you can. So again, please support my channel. Subscribe, bang that notification bell, click all, and do support me by clicking the links below to Tree Leaf Market. Check out what you can get there. Use my link. You won't pay a dime more. It'll help me and you too. And prepwithgreg.com. $100 off, 4-week supply. It's incredible. More to come, more to come. Thank you for watching.